And hello, everybody. Welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Lauri Albert. I am your host, medium and intuitive Lauri Albert. Spiritually Speaking is an interactive, intuitive conversation that embraces all things spiritual. Each week, we discuss different spiritual or life topics. I have guests, and I take your calls on the spirit line for you, the viewer, to be part of the conversation or to receive a reading. The spirit line number is 818-835-5885, and I will have that line open soon. So there you go. Welcome to the show. Happy Halloween. Hope everybody's having a very fun evening. I know not everybody is, it's 5 o'clock here, but I know it's not 5 o'clock everywhere. So I hope everybody's having a really nice time this evening, not eating too much candy. I had to hide the candy from my husband. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. But anyway, you can see I did the set. I have a whole little theme going here. I was going to be a witch. And I put it on and I was like, ew, I don't like a witch. So, I just put it over here instead. So right off the bat, I have a confession. I'm not a fan of Halloween. Just not a fan. I kind of go by sort of my little thing is that I am Lauri Albert, a happy medium and intuitive, right? I like to be happy. I don't like to be scared. Who likes to be scared? Like, seriously. Okay, I take that back. You know what? My daughter loves to be scared. Don't ask me why. She didn't get that from me. Right? So, at any rate, I prefer to be happy. So at any rate, and you guys know if you've watched any other show of the shows, I am I try really my hardest to live in gratitude and live on, all of that stuff. So Thanksgiving, I'm all about that. Let's just be grateful. I can't wait for grateful, right? And then we move on to Christmas. Oh, I mean, does it get any happier than Christmas? Right. So at any rate, that's my boy Clifford. I bring him with me to the studio so that he's like my companion. So if you hear barking, that would be Clifford. So at any rate, yes, I enjoy being happy, and so yeah. So I did this the best as I could. So yeah, I want to send prayers out today. As you probably know, today is Halloween. It's October 31st, and ironically, it's my 13th show. Isn't that cool? That's actually kind of cool, and that my 13th show would be on Halloween. I just thought that was cool. But anyway, so yes, prayers out to all of the people, anybody affected by what's going on in New York City tonight. Another terror attack. I've been on the show. This is my 13th show. Been doing this show for 3 months. We've had 3 terrorist attacks. 3 in 3 months. And I'm sure there have been others, but off the top of my head, right before the show started, I started thinking, oh my God, what about this? What about that? So, the only thing I have to say about it is this, because I just don't want to give it any more energy than I have to. But I really want to say that I send love to everybody. I just send love to everybody, everybody affected, the victims' families, everybody, all the workers, the rescue workers, everybody, right? As well as the person that did this. We have to send him love, because that's something is wrong, that he did not get enough love somewhere down the line. He didn't get it. So I send love. I send love to all of our country leaders, not just our leaders here, but leaders all around the world, that people make the right decisions, all of that. We have to stay positive. And one of the cool things was I was watching one of the news conferences today, and the governor of New York was like, we can't let this affect us. We have to go on. So they're having their Halloween parade. They didn't cancel it, so they're doing all that. And I just think that is so important. And so it's like, it builds like camaraderie or something. Right. So at any rate, I just want to send love out to everybody that's affected. So there you go. Now, with that all being said, I decided what I wanted to do tonight. Okay, so last week we had some technical difficulties, and then I had my amazing friend, hypnotherapist, Jeff Burr. You can catch that episode if you missed it on YouTube. It's really fun, really cool. I learned so much about tarot. I didn't know almost anything of what he was saying, so that was kind of cool. So at any rate, I had a meditation planned, and Spirit did not want me to do that meditation. I'm sure of it, right? So I am going to do it now because it's a third eye meditation, and it's going to help us with our intuition, right? It's going to help us with our insight into and how we perceive things, right? So what I'm going to do is I'd like everybody to sit quietly. If you can, sit with your palms up on your lap, and let's all just take a few deep breaths, right? Let's breathe in and then breathe out. Start to relax our bodies and our minds and our spirits. Yes. Let's breathe in love and peace and joy, and then breathe out the stress of the day, any anxiety that we have, any misemotions that are not serving our higher selves. Let's just breathe all of that out. Let's take one more deep breath in and breathe out. So I want to place our attention to our third eye, which is right between our eyes, right in our brow, right between our eyes, and call our attention to that. Imagine that you're looking at yourself and you can see right between your eyes. And I want to imagine that you can see an eye there. Okay? And imagine that you can see an eye right in, like your third eye, a third eye right in the middle of your brow. Okay? And just imagine what that eye looks like. Okay, let's take a couple deep breaths in while we do that. And remember that there is no right or no wrong in doing this exercise. Whatever your eye looks like, if you don't see an eye, that's awesome. If you see an eye, that's awesome as well. So let's just sit in the beautiful quiet. Now let's imagine the room that we're in filling up with that amazing indigo sort of deep purple color. Let's just imagine our entire room where we're sitting is filled with that deep, deep purple color. It's filling the room, and everything looks purple and that indigo, that cool blue purple color. And let's absorb that just for a few minutes. Now I want you to imagine that you take a walk. You're walking down a path, an overgrown path, and it's through a beautiful forest. And you come up upon a stream, or actually a pond, something with still water. And you sit beside that pond, and you just take it in, the beautiful sights, the green, and how peaceful it is there. There's no sounds from the outside world. You don't hear traffic. You don't hear people talking. Just imagine yourself sitting down in that beautiful place. Now I want you to imagine on that pond is a lotus flower. The lotus flower that is on the still water. And I want you to imagine it whatever color you choose. I prefer to imagine a white lotus flower. And just like look at the beauty of that flower. The beauty of that flower, which consists of wisdom and insight and inspiration. And that flower starts to open up. And you start to see the inspiration and the insight and the intuition coming out of the flower and just being part of the same universe that you are. And you just allow that inspiration to just envelop you, that insight. Now I want you to imagine that insight and that inspiration to come with you and be with you the rest of the evening. Invite it as if it were a person to be with you the rest of the evening or the rest of the day or the rest of the week. And we just imagine that flower in our minds and in our being with us. Now I want you to stand back up and walk through that beautiful overgrown forest place, knowing that you can always come back to the pond. Always come back to where you felt that peace and that inspiration and that insight and intuition for your day. And you can open your eyes anytime you feel comfortable, anytime you feel ready. And ask that Spirit stay with us the rest of the evening so that we can utilize the insight and the joy and that peace that we just felt. So I hope you all enjoyed that meditation. When I'm meditating myself, a lot of times these inspiration, it's like inspiration and it just comes to me. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to share it with you guys. Next week, I do a sort of a development circle on Tuesday nights after I do the show. And next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with you guys first, and then I'm going to do it with the class afterwards. We're going to do a meditation where we can talk to our spirit guides, sort of meet our spirit guides. So I'm going to lead that meditation. So join me next week for that as well. So if you're enjoying the meditation part of the show, join me next week for that, because that's going to be pretty interesting, I think. So it's going to be a good show about spirit guides and all that kind of stuff. So at any rate, so I feel so good. I don't know about you guys, but I feel so relaxed because I was filled with anxiety because I've been having technical issues around the show, and I feel good right now. So I feel like nothing can happen. Dare I say that, right? So what I'm going to do now is I want to read to you. This is another really interesting thing, and I have to tell you, the day of this show, I write down my thoughts about what it is I want to talk about and all that kind of stuff. And things just always, and I know I say this like every week, I'm a broken record, right? But everything just falls into place, right? So I have to share with you the general astrological forecast for this week, starting today and going through next week, right? It's really interesting. It's Christopher Renstrom, and it's rulingplanets.com, and this is the general forecast for everybody, okay, for the next week. This is really interesting this week, okay? Resentment and anger can take on a life and a drama of their own if you let them. Like a rash that becomes more inflamed with the scratching, these emotions feed off your pain and despair. Our society doesn't provide very good lessons for dealing with heartbreak. It preaches the gospel of revenge sex, applauds nasty Twitter exchanges, and even goads you into making a public spectacle of your romantic train wreck. There is no satisfaction in doing any of these things, which is why the Sun-Neptune trine on November 3rd is so healing, right? So November 3rd, I forget what day that is. I guess it'd be Thursday or Friday. Friday is very healing, right? A Sun-Neptune trine invites you to forgive and let go, to lose the grudge and reclaim your heart. Let bygones be bygones and move on. You don't need the empty emotional calories that resentment and anger bring. Isn't that, that's just so amazing. I just feel like that's so, oh, hell yeah, is what I want to say to that, right? Oh my gosh, I can't relate to the relationship part, but I can relate just in like the other parts of it, like my life, healing, any type of healing, there's always, I can't imagine that there's anybody that has a full day that doesn't have some sort of something going on, right? So I don't know. I'm looking at November 3rd as being kind of like a healing overall, right? So let's look at it like healing any sort of relationship issues or healing any sort of issue that you have going on in your life that's a little bit askew. How amazing is that? So look to that for Friday, November 3rd, right? Look to that. So I just thought that was kind of cool, right? So yeah, very interesting. So, okay, so I am now opening the spirit line. If you would like to call, you can call the spirit line, okay? And we're going to be sharing ghost stories tonight. And I have some ghost stories, although none of my stories are really ghosty, right? Because I don't have scary stories because I don't do scary, right? Like I said before, right? So if you have a scary story or if you'd like a reading, I am open to whatever. So the phone line, the spirit line, not the phone line, but the spirit line is open, 818-835-5885, and you're welcome to call. Cheers. It's tea. Trust me. I promise you that. So at any rate, spirit and spirits kind of don't mix, or at least for me, they don't. Or at least I can't do it. I can't have spirits while I'm doing spirit work. So at any rate, okay, so I made no secret that I am not the biggest fan of Halloween, right? So I was thinking about, I got to do something. I got to talk something about it. Oh, look, I have a call. Well, how fun. Hi there, you are live on the air with Lauri Albert. Who am I speaking to? I got to talk something about it. Oh, look. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, if you're live on the air with Lauri. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Joe.
Turn down your radio a little bit, or turn down your computer.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we have a delay.
Let me turn it down.
Okay. Yeah, we have a delay on the show, so, it kind of works that way. So.
It's okay. I'm used to talking to you with a delay, right?
Is this Joe?
This is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Yes.
Joe is a really good friend of mine who I just met a couple of months ago, and you know how you just click with some people? Instantaneously, right? Never met Joe, love Joe. Joe is like so fun. So I love you, Joe. Thanks for calling in.
Well, you said to call in tonight. I don't have a ghost story because
You
I'm
don't have a
also not a
ghost?
fan of Halloween.
You're not a fan of Halloween either?
No,
Yeah.
no. I stay. I don't like the. I sort of don't like the concept or the candy. But
Yeah, we don't need the candy, right?
but you. Well, since you are a friend and you know some things about me, but I was thinking more sort of a interesting. I was at the nursing home my mother was at yesterday, and I got such a feeling of her presence there that I thought maybe we could bring her in.
That'd be great. Oh my gosh. You know
Yeah.
what? I know you've told me her first name. What is her first name?
Mildred.
Mildred.
Or Millie. Either
I've been
one.
dying to give you a reading, by the way.
I know you have.
I know. I keep, you guys, I keep calling, I keep telling, every time I talk to them, when can we do a reading? When can we do a reading? Your mom has the most fun energy. I mean, she is just so much fun. Oh, and okay, so I will tell you this, Joe, I don't know if I've ever told you this or anybody else, but when I feel spirit coming in really strong, I get these like weird sort of goosebumps on top of my head. It's the weirdest thing, but it's better than the alternative because, you know, I used to faint. So, or not faint, but like get sort of woozy. But, so I have goosebumps all in the back of my head right now. Oh my gosh, her energy. She's super excited. Oh my God. Super excited that you called and that we're doing this. Okay. Her energy is, okay. And I know a little bit about her, but not too much. Was she like a lot of fun?
Yes.
Okay, because what I'm getting is that she is sort of, and you're going to laugh when you hear me say this, but I feel like she's on the other side, sort of like up and dancing, right? I feel like that, I don't know if she was a big, huge fan of Halloween, but she's a fan of it today. She's like having a blast, you know?
Well, I know she loves to celebrate things.
Oh, really?
So
that
she'll find a way.
If
today was the way to celebrate it, yes. The way to celebrate life, yes.
I love it. And that's what it feels like. It feels like it's like a celebration of life, right? It feels like that she just loved to be happy. I mean, I think is why I sort of relate to her pretty well because she just likes to be happy, I feel like, you know, and it's not fun to like be sad or miserable, you know, it's not fun, you know. So she's like coming through is really happy. I feel like she's sort of dancing. She's doing this. I don't know if you've ever actually seen her dance, but does she dance kind of goofy?
Oh, yeah.
Does she have kind of a goofy dance?
She actually was a dancer.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
She taught me. Yeah.
I feel like she's doing
ballet.
this like sort of little jig thing.
Yes, well, she used to love. Yes, that's exactly the way you're moving right now is the way she used to dance. She loved to during the disco era. I got her dancing. She loved I mean, from the time I started as a teenager, going to dances and stuff like that. She would dance around the living room with me, watch me dance. I mean, I'm sure you did that with your kids. So it's like,
Love that.
Yeah, it's just she loved it, and she took ballet.
Okay.
And she encouraged. Yeah, that's how I was a dancer in college, so I took dancing as my PE in college.
That's great.
So
love that.
Yeah, and I've always been. So it goes down a line to my niece, who's also into it. So it follows along. Yeah, it follows along in some respect.
Well, she is dancing on the other side, and she is so happy. And I have to tell you, she's really happy with you right now. She is. Well, I think she was always happy. I think she was probably happy with you when you were here, but she is going through this thing. Let me get like this message that she is like, first of all, she wasn't scared of death at all. She wasn't scared to cross over, or she's telling me now anyway.
No.
She is like, she was not scared to cross over. She is like, it's like the next step, you know, in, I don't want to say life because, you know, this is life, right? But this is like her next step, and she's just having a blast.
Yeah.
She's like, I just feel like that she was, but I feel like that, now, is your dad in spirit too? Are you there?
Is my what?
Is your father in spirit as well?
Yeah, I'm there. Yes.
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 Okay.
He passed 20 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he was a little bit more subdued than her. She kind of
Yes.
she kind of like takes over this like up the air in the room kind of thing. And
Yes.
he is quite a bit more subdued, but he loves, like, I feel like he just so loved your mom. He like
Yeah.
he's looking at her like, and he's just, when she would do her little dance or whatever, he would just
Mhm.
look at her with like this awe. Like,
Mhm.
the feeling I'm getting about him in this respect is that he could never bring himself to do stuff like that. So he sort of lived
Right. He was
vicariously
more
through.
inhibited.
Yeah, he was more inhibited, and so he sort of lived vicariously through her. In that,
Mhm.
he was just a little bit more relaxed. I mean, not relaxed, but yeah, inhibited. That wasn't the word you.
He had his own way of expressing his happiness, but it was a real love affair. Yeah,
Right.
they
Oh,
were
absolutely.
together on Earth for 46 years, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he was waiting for her over the last 20 to join
That's
him,
so
and I could tell that.
So
I could tell
awesome.
that.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
right there waiting when she crossed over, and
Oh yeah.
and you know what? He's
Matter of
shown
fact,
me.
the day I
What?
think I told you this, but the day she passed, the day we buried her, I could feel his hand just come up and say, "Would you like to dance?"
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I
I
have
got
to tell
that.
you, he's
Because
okay.
I was the
Before,
first
don't say
person.
anything else.
Yeah.
Wait, don't say anything else, because I want to give you what I'm seeing. Oh my God, that's exactly, almost exactly what I just saw. What I just saw was him sort of reaching out his hand, but he had a rose, a single rose in his hand, and he
Mhm.
reached out his other hand, and he sort of like took
Mhm.
her hand and brought her over to the other side. Oh my God. What is
Yeah.
was there a
And on Mother's Day, we
significance?
planted a rose bush there.
Oh my God. Oh my God, because this
Mhm.
rose was really significant. It was one beautiful long stem
Yes.
rose, and it was just
Yes.
stunning. And so he handed her
And the
that.
funny thing was, is my brother Howie, the youngest brother Howie, um, brought a rose bush on Mother's Day and planted it.
Oh my
And I
God.
brought a rose quartz stone and put
Oh,
it on top of her
oh
her
my God.
on the
Well, she
stone.
had a thing about roses, I guess, then, yeah.
Yes, and the funny thing is she's buried next to my Aunt Rose.
Oh my
So
God. Oh my God. That's crazy. Wow. So there really is
yeah,
quite
there's kind of a lot of little synchronicities there.
Yeah, really. It's quite
But
the rose.
but I want to ask you something.
Yes.
See if you can ask her this question.
Okay.
Because last Monday I was home. You know what I do for work.
Yes.
So I was home, doing what I do for a living, and suddenly I said to Nick, I said, "We got to go. We've got to go to her. We have to go to. We have to go somewhere." And I knew it was to go visit her gravesite. And I know she's not there
Yes.
in my head,
Right.
but it felt like something was pushing me. Like she was saying to me, "Will you come over and visit, please?"
Oh my God.
And they had just engraved her side of the stone, because we're Jewish and it takes 11 months before they unveil. And I don't know if the unveiling has taken place or not, whatever. But something literally pushed me over to there, and I can't figure out what she was trying to tell me. And I've asked her all week to please be clear. So I don't know. Maybe you can ask her
I know.
on your,
Let me tell you what I'm getting from that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
First of all, I think that you haven't maybe been talking to her as much in the last little while that you normally would have sort of been communicating with her.
Yeah, I've been a little preoccupied.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is her way. Her way of sort of having a communication with you is to get you to go to her gravesite.
Okay.
Okay. So it's really just her saying, okay, she's so sweet. Oh my God, I love her. Her way of communicating with you is saying, please go to the gravesite, because then I'll have you, not that you were alone, because you didn't sound like you were alone, but it's like you're paying attention to her that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I can't visit her. I can't visit her anywhere else in the physical world.
Right, exactly.
So,
right. And that's funny you should say that, because I was thinking it's kind of a tangible thing. You know, it's like going to a grave site is so that we humans have a place where we can go and see and be. You know what I mean? So you know, it's kind of like looking at somebody's picture. If we have that picture, then they're always going to be there, kind of thing, you know?
Right.
So, so that was her way of saying, okay, don't forget about me. Let's, you know, you need to listen to me. Because I got to tell you, Joe, you know, what I get from her is that she's kind of, well, and I think you and I have talked about this before, but she's a guide for you. She really wants you to listen to what she says, obviously. I think she wasn't outspoken with her opinions either. I mean, she was outspoken. Sorry, I said that wrong. She was
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was very outspoken.
She was a Gemini.
Okay.
So she was always, to me, she had a private side, and then I could see her public side. Yeah. So she was that double personality, and I'm a Libra.
Right.
So I was trying to balance those two personalities all the time.
Right, of course. But, you know, so I just want you to know that she will always, if you ever feel, okay, so she's really not mincing words with this, I'll just tell you that. What she's telling me is that you will know when she's trying to get a hold of you, or when she's trying to talk to you, or when she has something for you to you know. And, you know, she wants you, and it's interesting that I had just done this meditation. She's real happy about this meditation. I don't know if you did it, or if you just listened to it, but becoming aware of your intuition, and right here, right? Becoming aware of your gut instinct, that's where you're going to understand what she's trying to tell you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like when you and it could be at her gravesite, it could be in your place, it could be wherever, but you'll know, because she will let you know, because she's not scared of the whole idea of like moving things across the room or that sort of thing. She's not scared of any of that. So be prepared, because if she really wants to get your attention and you're not listening to her, she's going to be really clear.
Yeah. Well, I knew she sent me Nick. Yeah. So that was, I think I told you that.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So,
and you know what? And I love that. She's very prevalent in your life, darling. She is really prevalent in your life.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was remember, she was 100 years old when she died. She was over 100.
Wow.
So, I had her in my life I was 64 when she died. So yes, you know, it's like, and I still think, she hasn't given up. She's having a blast.
Yeah,
and I know that. And I sense her from. See, I always pick her up on my left side when I feel her presence. I can feel it. But that one Monday when it was like, okay, we got to go now. That was the strongest I have felt her power.
Right, because you had been ignoring her. in her world.
Yeah, probably.
In her world, she's like, you were ignoring me. I had to do something to get your attention.
Yeah. Well, also I've been asking her for, you know, help with the things that have been you and I have discussed. And the thing is that, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to feel it.
Yeah. That's so great. Oh my God, Joe, that's so great. I love it, and I love your mom. And we need to do
she could visit you in it. You'd love her. You'd love her. You know, knowing you two would have she would have adopted you as a daughter.
Well, you know what the thing is that she has visited me before, but we've never had time. I mean, you know, we've never actually had time to actually sit down and. So yeah.
No, it's true. When you and I are on the phone, sometimes we can get lost and stuff, and I'm sure she's going, "Oh, maybe I can come in and talk now."
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
But we don't let her.
She'll push her way in. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's so great. Well,
Yeah,
thank
but
you
that was
so much for
that's
calling.
she's my ghost story for tonight. But
Yeah, I
that's
love it. That's great.
yeah.
No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I just so appreciate you calling. It's so much fun.
Oh,
So much fun.
I wanted to. And tonight, when you said that to me the other day, oh, call. And I thought, I don't have a ghost story. But then I remembered what happened last week,
Well,
and I
you know
thought,
what?
that's sort of a ghost story.
That's the funny thing. You know what? I have a ton of spirit stories, but I don't have like a ghost story. Because I don't do like ghosts too much, you know? I mean, so, and I have some little stories.
If she would appear to me, you know, sometime, then I could call you and say, guess what?
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
I honor the other side of our existence.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you do. So yeah.
Right. Well,
so,
we'll see what happens.
I think yeah, but it's but knowing you has helped me open the door.
Oh, that's so great.
A little wider. Yeah.
Good.
So it's like yeah.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, the closet door is wide open to the other side.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Joe, thank you so much.
Well, let's get back to
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much, and I'm so
you're
glad
welcome, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you shortly. Sure.
Okay.
And I love your show. I did the meditation with you tonight. It's an excellent. That was an excellent meditation.
Okay.
And the lotus flowers are perfect. I was a Buddhist for God knows how long, 20 years, and lotus flower obviously is the symbol of Buddhism.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Because it seeds. It's cause and effect. It seeds and flowers at the same time. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a beautiful meditation.
Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yay. Well, thank you for calling, darling. And I will talk to you soon.
Yeah. I will talk to you soon.
Okay, take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
You know what I love about that call is that, well, first of all, Joe is awesome. Isn't Joe awesome? I mean, thank you for calling, Joe. That was really fun. You know, it's like there's nothing to be scared of with this, okay? And that was really where I was kind of going with this next, because it's like there's really nothing to be scared of as far as spirits go. You know, I grew up, I think one day I'm going to do like a whole how I came to do what I do show, so you can kind of get a vibe as to who I am and stuff. But you know what the reality is that, you know, I grew up thinking that this was scary, and it was, you know, oh my God. And, you know, because I grew up very Catholic, and so I was sort of taught that it was negative and that it was scary and blah, 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 all this other stuff that people are told, right? But I knew I had stuff going on that really wasn't really that scary, but, you know, so very interesting. So we have another caller. I hope. Hi there, you're live on the air with Lauri. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Tina.
Hi, Tina. How are you tonight?
Okay, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Do you have a scary ghost story? It's okay if you don't.
No, I probably do, but I'd have to think really hard.
I know. That's what the thing is. It's so funny because here I was saying, oh, I'm going to have people calling with scary ghost stories. But the thing is, I don't have scary stories. I don't do scary. So it doesn't sound like you do either. So there you go. What can I do for you tonight?
I wanted to see if I could get a reading, just nothing in general, see if anything was popping through.
Okay. Okay. So do you have like a psychic sort of question, or is there somebody specific you wanted to hear from on the other side, or?
Just whatever you were feeling.
Okay.
Nothing in particular. So.
Okay. You know what? I really am feeling a sort of a contemporary. Do you have and it's a female. Do you have like a friend that passed away, whether it was when you were younger or you know, recently or whatever? Do you have a friend that's on the other side? A female.
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. I feel like that there's a woman by you. She's kind of contemporary. So actually, you know what, when I say contemporary, I just mean sort of in your sort of age range. So when I say that, I don't want to give you the wrong impression, because it could be a sister, a cousin, somebody like along in that same It could even be somebody you worked with, or something along those lines, that's around your same age. So
Okay.
that's really what I mean when I say that. Okay, so let me tell you a little about this woman. She is obviously a female, obviously, and it's interesting because I just had such a vocal spirit with me, and now this girl is not quite as vocal. This girl is more like, she's a little bit more subdued. She's a little bit more, I don't know what the word is. She's a little bit more just quiet, a little bit more shy. So does that, now that we've opened that up, does that ring any bells for you at all?
I really have to think, unless it was someone I grew up with that passed that I don't know, what I mean, haven't talked to in years.
Right, it might be. Yeah, it might be. I'm seeing this girl. Do you have blonde hair?
No.
Okay, because so if you have dark hair, there's a blonde hair. What I'm seeing. See, I should never ask questions. It's so stupid. Just give what I'm getting is what I should always do. But I'm seeing a dark-haired girl and a light-haired girl. So I'm seeing two people next to each other, but I'm seeing them as kind of young. So you know what? Just because you don't really know who she is, I'm just going to let that go. But I'm going to leave you with that because this might be somebody from when you were young. So I'm seeing a blonde-haired girl and a dark-haired girl, and about the same height, kind of, and you're going to laugh. But this vision that I'm getting is, the movie The Shining, which I've never seen the movie. I'm too scared to see the movie. I'm chicken, right? But those twins, so that's what I'm seeing, right? So that's what I'm seeing, but one is blonde and one is dark hair. So you must have dark hair?
Yes.
Okay. So the girl is blonde, right? So just I'll give you that, and then so if you remember it, contact me, and if you can think it through, I've had people contact me weeks later and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot this person that they passed away. Oh my God," or whatever. So I'll just leave you with that, and then you can take that back. But I gotta also tell you, you've called me before. Have you called me before?
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like that I'm seeing there's a man who feels like a father figure. Have I brought through your father before?
My grandpa.
Oh, it's your grandpa. Okay. Yeah, because he's with you, and was he kind of like a father to you as well? Like, okay, sorry. You know what? Please don't take offense that I don't remember. I do a lot of reading.
No, that's okay.
So please don't take offense to that. But I feel like, this guy is like a father figure to you. And there's something, okay, so he's talking really actually kind of fast because he wants to get this in. he wants to get this in, and he's saying that boy, this is interesting. Did you just recently, and again, I don't know if we've talked about this before, so I apologize, but did you just recently start dating somebody, or did you break up with somebody, or is there a breakup that has just happened, whether it's male or female, like even if it's a friend that you sort of broke up with? Is there something along those lines that just recently happened?
My sister that I don't talk to.
Okay, because he's highlighting this break. He's highlighting a break. And he's it's interesting because I don't feel like he was somebody that would talk really fast, but he's talking really fast to me right now because he wants me to make sure I give you this whole message. You know what? Does your sister have blonde hair?
No.
Oh, okay, because that would have been interesting. Because if he was showing me that and then showing me the other thing, that would have been weird. But okay, so he's showing me this breakup, and he's talking to me about, he's actually saying that it's okay. I don't know. He's like okay with the fact that you guys aren't speaking right now. Okay. So I'm going to tell you that. Okay. He's actually okay with it because he's talking about how, not that she's wrong or you're right and she's wrong, and it's nothing along those lines, but the separation is healthy right now. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. The separation is healthy right now. He wants me to also tell you to and highlighting love. He's talking about making sure that you still love her. Yes, she's whatever she is, but you need to still love her, and always include her in your prayers, and send her love, because that is what's going to heal her. Does that make sense? Does that make sense at all?
Kind of a little.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's whatever the break is going on, it's going to be healed with it's going to be healed with you. Okay? And the only way that it's going to happen ever, and it's okay if it doesn't do it for now, the only way it's ever going to happen is if you sit in the place of love in the relationship. Even though you're not speaking, sit in the place of love with her, and then all will be healed that way. Okay? Okay. Mm-hmm. He's really cool. I like him. I like him a lot. I'm seeing him like walking to the store. Did he walk? I don't know why he's showing me this, but did he ever like walk to the grocery store or something? I feel like that he's showing me him walking to like a store.
No, I don't know. Not in our neighborhood. Like you'd have to drive, but they used to live in like East Liberty when they first came to the country, and everything was within walking distance.
Oh, okay. I feel like that he's like walking everywhere, and I don't feel like I feel like he's like older in this, but I feel like that he feels younger in this. So it does. I know that might make no sense to you at all. However, I feel like that he's older and he's walking down the road slow. However, because I'm trying to say this particularly, but I feel like it's like a memory lane thing. Do you still have family in East Liberty?
I don't.
Do you know if you do?
I don't know. Maybe near Bloomfield, but like most of my family, we live on the same street.
Oh, that's cool.
In a different neighborhood.
Okay.
So maybe that's walking. I don't know. But we don't have stores in my neighborhood. But
yeah. No. Don't take that literally. I'm really kind of getting the sense that he is kind of walking down memory lane kind of thing. Okay. And that's really what I was getting from him. He was kind of walking down memory lane. And like last time, I'm from Pittsburgh. And one of the last times I went to Pittsburgh to visit my mother, we went on this like sort of down memory lane trip, and I went back to her old neighborhood, and we saw where she grew up and all of that kind of stuff, and I feel like that he's kind of wanting you to maybe get into some family history a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you guys have done that sort of Ancestry.com thing or anything. I don't know if you've done any of that, but like maybe get into that a little bit. Get into your history and learn who you are, that sort of thing. So So that's what he meant by that. It's so interesting because Spirit will show me this like image of whatever. A lot of times I get like pictures, like I would see a picture that is an actual photograph or something like that. But sometimes they show me sort of scenes of them, and I have to sort of interpret what they're talking about because I don't quite understand. And so it's interesting because usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, but it always ends up like they talk me through it, kind of thing. So that's really where he was going with that. He was walking down the memory lane in the old neighborhood, and he wants you to sort of get into your family history and like learn a little bit more where you came from and that sort of thing. So that's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, that is.
I like that. And it's so fun. It's a good lesson for me too, because I'm dying to get into Ancestry.com and I want to do the 3-month, free trial or whatever. But I always think to myself, oh wait, I got to wait till I have 3 months. which is never going to happen, right? You know, who has 3 months of unobstructed time, you know? So at any rate,
right.
I will leave you with that. And thank you so much for calling, Tina. I appreciate the call. And your grandfather loves you so, so much. He's like a teddy bear, it feels like to me, that he just sends his love to you, and he's with you a lot. So, okay.
Oh, that's cool. He was a good dude. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great night. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. You know, God, I love what I do. Is it terrible to say that? And, you know, I don't mean, I'm not bragging. Oh my God, please don't think that it's like a bragging thing, but I love what I do. I'm so blessed, so, so blessed. And we have another call. Hi there, you're live on the air with Lauri. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hi, you're live on the air with Lauri. Who am I speaking to?
Really?
Can you hear me?
Really?
Can you hear me? Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you, whoever the caller was. So thank you for the call. So yeah, you know, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed, you know, so blessed. So at any rate, I wanted to tell you guys what I found online, of course, about Halloween. Because my whole thing was when I was talking about doing ghost stories, and like I was talking to some friends and they were like, well, I don't really have any ghost stories or anything like that. And I thought, you know what? So why does it have to be scary? Why does it have to be scary? It doesn't have to be scary, right? So I thought, you know what is the origin? Where did the scariness come from, right? So here's what, and I'm going to read this to you, and I'll skip over it's not really boring at all, actually. I was going to say I'll skip over the boring parts, but it's actually not boring at all. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival Samhain. The Celts who lived 2,000 years ago in the area that is now Ireland, how interesting is that? The United Kingdom and northern France, they celebrated their new year on November 1st. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of the year that was often associated with human death. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. So that would be tonight, folks. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, which was when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to Earth. That's kind of interesting, right? So, you know, to commemorate this event, the Druids built huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes, typically consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempting to tell each other's fortunes. Isn't that great? That's pretty awesome, right? So, okay. So then what I want to say is, okay, so what I want to say is Halloween in America, right? The celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because of the rigid Protestant belief system, okay? Halloween was much more common in Maryland and the southern colonies. Go figure. As the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups as well as the American Indians meshed, a distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest, where neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. So that's pretty cool, right? I thought that was pretty neat. They would tell ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. By the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivals were common. Okay, so trick-or-treating then, this is how this got started. Borrowing from Irish and English traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treat tradition. This is funny. Young women believed that on Halloween, they could divine the name and appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. I freaking love that, right? So tonight would have been the night where you could figure out who you're going to marry. Gotta love it, right? In the late 1800s, there was a move in America to mold Halloween into a holiday more about community and neighborly get-togethers than about ghost pranks or witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became a good way became a good way for them to celebrate the day. Okay, so isn't that interesting? I just thought that was really cool. And then, okay, so let's look at the Day of the Dead, which is Dia de los Muertos, which is a Mexican holiday celebrated throughout Mexico. Dia de los Muertos starts on the 31st and goes until the 2nd. Okay, so this multi-day holiday focuses on gatherings of families to pray for and remember their friends and family members who have passed away, and help support their spiritual journey. So I thought that was cool, right? So now, along all those other same lines is that All Saints Day in the Catholic Church. I know this is true in the Catholic Church, but I don't know other faiths, so I apologize for that. But All Saints Day is November 1st, and then All Souls Day is November 2nd. So All Saints Day is when you sort of are supposed to remember all the saints, okay? So I guess that would kind of be just kind of a Catholic thing, right? Because I don't think any other religion has saints. But anyway, so then All Souls Day on the 2nd, you're supposed to remember during that day all of the loved ones that have passed, okay? Which is so interesting. All of this is so fascinating because it all is the same. Basically, it's just offshoots and different people change the traditions around. So I just thought that was really interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys because, we're all the same. We're all the same. We just do things just a little bit differently, right? We all bleed red. That's what I like to say. So at any rate, so much for ghost stories, right? I actually don't really have a ghost story. Actually, I think I told a ghost story a couple weeks ago. The only sort of ghosty story that I have is I used to work at the Hollywood Palace. I used to do marketing at the Hollywood Palace, and that is obviously in Hollywood. And the Hollywood Palace was like a landmark, and it had been around forever, like 100 years at least, right? And they used to do all sorts of different shows there. Your show of shows, I forget the guy that did that, but anyway, so there was all of these shows that were done there, and apparently several people had died either by falling off the balcony or just, I think I remember a story about a grip or somebody, that worked backstage that fell off and fell onto the stage and died. Can you even imagine that? But at any rate, so one day, and my office was underneath the stage because there was a stage set up and there was a balcony. There were shows there and that sort of thing. So my office was underneath the balcony. My office was underneath the stage, right? And so there was no doors, no windows, anything like that. So I'm coming up the stairs, and I remember, boy, and this was distinct, right? I've always had, my hair's up right now, but I always had long hair. And I remember a gust of wind, whoosh, that went from my front to my back. And it was like a gust of wind, kind of. And my first thing was, oh my God, it's like a fly or something. And I'm going like this as I'm walking up the stairs. And then it passed, and I was like, wait a minute. How is there a gust of wind? There was no gust of wind, right? So I get upstairs, and I'm talking to some people, and they're all like, well, this place is haunted, so it was probably a spirit. And I went, oh, no. Oh, my God. I was, super excited. And they were like, oh, that's so exciting. It went through you, and you must have a pure heart. And I remember somebody saying that to me, and I'm like, okay, kind of thing. So it was funny because that was really, and that was a long time ago, and that was before I really started opening myself up to this whole spirit thing. And, that was really actually around the time that I started thinking to myself, who made this stuff scary? Why is it so scary? It doesn't have to be scary, So at any rate, that's my pretty much lone ghost story. That was pretty much it. There's nothing else, No other stories to share as far as that goes. But at any rate, we've taken an hour with our non-ghost story show. I hope everybody has a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate everybody listening and everybody watching, and just putting up with me. Thank you to the callers that have called, and thank you just for joining me. So I wish you all a fantastic Halloween, and namaste, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you for watching Spiritually Speaking with Lauri Albert.